And welcome back, everyone, to the This Week in Tiger Athletics podcast. As usual, we will catch up on some of the events going on in Fort Hays State Athletics. I'm Boomer Sabata, and I am joined with the Sports Information Director, Ryan Prickett.
Hey, Boomer.
How you doing?
I'm peachy today.
Peachy. So let's start with a recap of what went down for the Tigers last week.
Well, probably the biggest news of anything was the NFL draft, and Nathan Shepard was selected in the NFL draft in the third round, pick number 72 overall. So I think there was about 8 picks into the third round or something like that. He got selected by the New York Jets, and he became the third Fort Hays State player ever selected in the NFL draft. So that was a really cool thing for Fort Hays State, something that hadn't happened in over 31 years. So our last guy was a guy by the name of Frankie Neal, who was a wide receiver back 1987 is the last draft that we had somebody go, which it's interesting because there was another player from that season that was a lineman at Fort Hays State that he was actually an undrafted rookie free agent and actually went on to have a heck of a career as a lineman in the NFL. His name was Les Miller, but he didn't technically get selected in the draft part of it. He was just a notable undrafted rookie free agent. And so, Nathan, finally shattered that drought of the school not having a pick for a long time. And we hope to see big things out of our big fella up there in New York. And, a lot of things have him projected as potentially being a starter. I don't know how long before that'll happen, but it looks like Nathan has a really good shot at being on the field. And, with the Jets had a little bit of a down year last year where I think 5-11 or something like that's what I looked at. So, that might be an opportunity where some of these young guys that are coming in the draft could make an immediate impact for that team. So it's probably a great place for him to go, and hopefully his family will be able to get over there a little bit too. It's really not that far away from, he's from the Toronto suburbs, so you just go across the border over there to New York. So hopefully they'll have a chance to go watch him play on some Sundays too. So anyway, but that was, the NFL draft, and that was big news for us. And also on the football front, Brandon Brown, our kicker, who was the MIAA Special Teams Player of the Year, he has some invites to go to some rookie, mini camps and try out. So I think he's got an opportunity, definitely with the San Francisco 49ers. I think there was maybe even something else where he announced that maybe the Raiders were inviting him to a camp. But he's from out in that area of California, so hopefully he might get a chance to get picked up by somebody closer to home. So we'll see how that goes for him here in the coming days. But anyways, to get back to the sports that are happening right now, in spring sports, the track and field team, a handful of people went up to the Drake Relays in Iowa this last week, and we really kind of saw our best performances out of some relay teams, so kind of lived up to the name of the meet, I guess, the Drake Relays. Well, we did well in relays. So distance medley team on the men's side of Oscar Carmona, Jacob Shoemaker, Bill Oyett, and Brett Meyer. They won their race up there, and so that was kind of the top men's performance. And then on the women's side, we had a couple of relay teams set new school records. The 4x800 team of Lindsay Roberts and her sister Lauren Roberts, they're twins, and Grace Bussing and Yesenia Gonzalez. They were part of that 4x800 team that set a new school record. And then the distance medley team shattered the school record by over 20 seconds. The Roberts twins were both part of that, also Grace Bussing and Kelly Wyckoff. So good week for them up there in Iowa, just kind of getting prepared for the MIAA championships, which are going to be coming up this next week. And then baseball was at home. They unfortunately lost all 4 of their games at home, and that wrapped up their home portion of the schedule. They just have a week left now of the season to play. So, and then the women's and men's golf teams, they were both at the MIAA championship meets this last week, and both of those teams finished 6th. On the men's side, Skylar Tebow, he played well enough throughout the season that he got an honorable mention all-conference nod from the coaches when they voted on that. So that's kind of a wrap of what happened this last week.
Okay, we have about 2 weeks left of class.
Yeah.
Finals week is next week, so there's not a whole lot left, but
Yeah.
what are some events that will be happening that Tiger fans can still look forward to?
Yeah, there's a smattering of things on the schedule yet, but unfortunately everything's done in haze, so we don't have any more events going on here as far as regular season events. But I think the big event this next week is going to be the MIAA track and field meet. That's up in Kearney, Nebraska this year. Looking at the way things are going into it, our men are number 12 in the country and our women are number 13. We're the second highest ranked team in the nation amongst the MIAA teams on the men's side and third highest on the women's side. So we have a chance to go up there and make some noise. It's going to be tough to win on both sides. I know Pittsburgh State is the number one team in the nation on the men's side, and they're pretty darn good. But Lincoln and Pittsburgh, they're kind of sitting 9 and 10 on the national rankings there on the women's side, and with our women at 13, it's kind of a cluster right there. So who knows? I mean, we perform well enough, we may have a chance to win a conference title up there. So we'll see how things go. I definitely expect big things out of some of the individual performers too, but who knows? We might be able to get a team championship out of that. And then baseball is going to finish out their season at Missouri Southern this weekend. They'll have a 3-game series there, and that'll wrap things up for them. So, and then also potentially we're waiting on the field selection for the NCAA Women's Golf Championship. We're just trying to see if Hannah Perkins is part of that field as an individual. She did make it the year prior and got herself all the way to the NCAA championships as an individual. She played well enough at the regionals. So we'll see if she has a shot at that again this year, just based off of her results throughout the season. So.
Okay. And that'll do it for this week's edition of the This Week in Tiger Athletics podcast. On behalf of our sports information director, Ryan Prickett, I'm Boomer Sabata saying goodbye and go Tigers.